To Color Chats with Moira, and today I have got Amanda Bradbury. Amanda, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us about color and your favorite topic, astrology.
Well, thank you very, very much for inviting me, Moira. And thank you to you for creating this platform and being so generous in terms of sharing everybody else's work, you know, along with your own.
But isn't that the energy of Color Mirrors? How we all collaborate and support one another, and it's family, and there's no competition, there's no patches, there's just this, we support the universe in its evolution, and we do it as a family. We always call ourselves a Color Mirrors family, right?
Yes, that's right. And it's all part of the collective evolution as well. And, you know, seeing what needs to happen and, you know, sharing the message of colour and making it available to everybody.
And of course, your slant that we're going to talk about today is how astrology and color mirrors have merged, how you've kind of brought color into astrology and deepened anybody who loves astrology and goes on a quest to discover more about their life path, and, you know, based on the natal chart and various other bits of information. So we have quite a bit lined up today, and I'm going to really let you guide the show where you wanted to go, because you are extremely, extremely knowledgeable when it comes to astrology. You are an expert. You're the first person who got me interested in astrology. But I also want to just say to everybody who's tuning in, I'm just watching them on the iPad here. If there's any questions you have about astrology, and especially about the current energies that are happening, I think, Amanda, you're going to say something about that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
please pop it here in the in the comments box, Amanda, and I can look at it. Let's just welcome a couple of people who've joined us so far. Aurelia has joined us from Denmark. Leslie Ann from the UK. Neela Mohan is watching. Hello, Neela. And then Renara Barkley and Lisa Barry. Of course, Lisa Barry was on the show last week. She's joined us as well. Lovely to see you both. She says, nice to see you, Lisa. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. And I please ask you, if you can possibly share this, hit the share button and get it on your timeline and groups, get other people into the conversation, especially if you know astrology groups, you know, just share it with them, and put comments in the box, because, you know, the more we put comments in the box and keep the feed going, the more the chances are while we're live, it pops up in other people's news feeds, because Facebook is really not as generous with their sharing automatically as they used to be. The algorithms have changed. So today we've got cards. We're going to have everybody, the audience, Amanda, our viewers are going to pick cards between 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to give one quick try. The camera wouldn't work earlier, guys. You know me and this camera sharing thing. I'm going to try and share it and just see if it works. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to hold up the buttons. Nope, it's not playing ball with me today, technology. Maybe there's something in the planets, Amanda. So feel if you want to pick 1, 2, or 3 today. All right, so it's card day today. 1, 2, or 3. We got them. 1, 2, or 3. Pop the one you're drawn to, the number you're drawn to, in the comments box. And at the end of the show, Amanda and I are going to give you a little message for the week. And I can tell you the cards are quite interesting that we pulled about 5 minutes ago, Amanda. We kind of shuffled 3 cards, so they should be quite nice. Okay, let's just have a look. Renara says, well done with the pronunciation. Yeah, Renara last week joined us with a show with Lisa, and I was like, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And say it like mascara. Renara like mascara. I've not forgotten. Thank you. Leslie Ann Iveson, she's picked number 3. Renara's picked number 1, and Lisa's picked number 2. Oh, great. So we already have picks for 1, 2, and 3. That's fantastic. Diane Ramsey Arthur's joined us from the UK. Moira Andrews from the UK. Fantastic, guys. Oh, Ragnhild has also joined us, number 2. Karani, hello to you both. Hi, Karani. She's also been on the show. All right, so that's it. I think we can get going, Amanda, with this, with our show. So before we get a chat about astrology and really get deep into, you know, your work and a little bit more about the workshops and you know, the way you work with people, every beginning of the Color Chat show, those people are new to the Color Chat show and Color Mirrors, you don't know how it works. We share a bottle, an oil bottle that you bathe in, and we share an essence spritzer bottle that you can kind of spray in your auric field and in spaces around you. And we share some information experience. We have, some of us have been working with Color Mirrors for many, I know for Amanda, you and I think it's 18 years or something. You might even be a year more than me, 19 years, because you met Melissa before even I did.
I think it was around about the same time. It was.
Was it that workshop in True?
It was the end of 2002.
Yeah.
And I met her in Cornwall.
That's right. It was the same workshop.
And then we both went on the same workshop, which coincidentally was on colour and astrology. Yeah. So that's what really drew me. And I can't quite remember if the workshop was at the end of 2002 or the beginning of 2003.
Yeah.
But we were on the same workshop.
Yeah. So we've been on this journey with Melissa almost from the beginning of the system. Yeah. So we kind of have a lot of experience and knowledge between us, but I'd like to just tell the viewers that it doesn't matter how long you've been with Color Mirrors. Every time you work with a bottle, you learn something new. It's such a vast system of information, and your consciousness constantly expands and changes. So you open up to new concepts and different perspectives and new information. So you grow. I mean, in 18 years, I'm still learning about the system. I don't know if that's...
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Chill bones, right? So we got a couple of bottles to share with you, and I'm going to go to slides. This bit of technology, it's on my side today. So we're going to show you a couple of slides with some bottles, just share some information we have around them. And very appropriately having, Amanda, who is an astrologer on, is, of course, it's a planet bottle, and it's Mars and red and orange. So I'll give a couple of notes that we have on this, and then Amanda, if you could maybe go into a little bit around the Mars information, that would be great. You could tell us a bit more about it. Of course, it's got red at the top, and red is everything to do with survival in the material world. So, red is about money and career and finance and that kind of thing. Everything to do with that keeps you alive. The orange is about creativity, sociability. It's also about sexuality. So it's also, again, it relates to that survival. We've got to procreate. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say something about that bottle, Amanda, with the orange, because every single person whose chakra systems I've been reading in my private and my mentoring groups has shut down on the orange sacral chakra. And I think it's to do with this pandemic and the kind of cutting off from other people, not being able to connect with people, not being able to hug and hold people, keeping a distance. And people's sacral chakras are just shutting down. It's incredible. People that have normally got very strong creative influence and energy, it's just those chakras are shut down. I don't know if any other therapists, if any other therapists have been doing that, or we've been measuring your own chakra system, please let us know. I'd be interested to know if it's a phenomenon that we're experiencing right now.
Yes, it's so important to be able to connect, isn't it? And, to touch, to hug, to be together with people, to see our loved ones. And also the Mars bottle, the red and orange, is connected with the blood as well. So it's a little bit like our vital life force energy as well.
Yeah. And then Mars is powerful and warlike and often represents the masculine. We talk about women from Venus, men from Mars. And what I find is this bottle is often picked by people who want to appease their anger, release frustration, or when they kind of need to have a firecracker put in the right spot to fire them off, get them going, take some action, don't procrastinate, get things done. It also teaches you to express your emotions in the moment. So these are a few key things we know about this bottle when people actually pick it. But could you talk a little bit about Mars and just kind of what the planet represents, Amanda?
Yes. Well, the symbol for Mars is the male symbol. And so, yes, it's very much about assertion, direction. You could connect it with a kind of like a sort of machismo, if you like. It's also connected to the root chakra, so it also has a strong connection with sexuality and sensuality, and so yes, so Mars as a planet is very direct, and it's almost like if someone has a strong Mars in their chart, you know where you stand with them. But a little bit like the color red, somebody with a strong Mars can almost like come on too strong, and so it's almost like advancing almost too much, advancing so that you maybe push someone away a bit. And so there's also a need to step back and receive and be, you know, soft, and to sort of bring in the feminine energy, the Venusian energy. So that's very important.
And Mars rules Aries.
Yes.
Because the way I've learned to understand Mars is my sister Kim is Aries, and of course Mars is her planet, and she's exactly that personality trait. She's direct, she's to the point, you know, and when she wants something done, she'll push it and get it done.
Yes, people with strong Aries or strong Mars can be quite impulsive. And so sometimes they need to perhaps just step back a little bit, you know, count to 10. There can be an impatience, a frustration, maybe. And so if we think about the complementary color to the red, it would be green. And so the green is about connecting to your heart. You know, what does the other person feel? What is their situation? And also maybe it's about balance as well, getting like a balanced perspective rather than almost like, you know, falling into the anger or getting kind of caught up in anger. And also nature is so important for us at this time, isn't it? And releasing the energy, the frustration into the earth and being held by the earth as well. Yeah. So I like Mars as an energy because in my birth chart, I have a creative connection between the sun and Mars. It's like a flowing link. And so I feel comfortable with the energy of Mars. And it's also about getting the balance as well, isn't it? Between holding back and pushing forward. It's almost like knowing when to do each of those things.
Yeah. So I love it. And now if somebody who's an astrologer who doesn't know anything about color mirrors, and they know this information about Mars and the tendencies and the, you know, the whole structure of information, the body of information, astrology around the specific planet, what would you say to explain to a newbie what the bottle offers them? You know, so now they do have a strong Mars presence. You know, it's quite dominant in their chart, or maybe they are in Aries. How would you say color mirrors would help them?
Yes, well, it depends really, because sometimes I feel people might be drawn to the Mars bottle when actually they don't have very strong Aries or Mars in their chart. You know, they may have quite a strong Libran emphasis, but they're perhaps being encouraged to develop this, you know, the directness of Mars and the expressiveness and the fieriness. And so I have seen this. And so there's something called transits. And what transits are is the collective astrology as the planets move around the sky and how they affect your birth chart. And so last year, we actually had Mars in Aries for 6 months. We had a real, an unusually long period of Mars in Aries. So Mars is also the activist, and also it's the leader as well. So it's people who have strength and inner strength and also leadership ability, and they can be very decisive and responsive as well. So what I do find is that sometimes the colours that people are drawn to depend on what's going on in the collective astrology. So for instance, last year, when we had this period of Mars moving through Aries for 6 months, not always, of course, but sometimes people were drawn to the Mars bottle. It seemed to feature quite strongly. Sometimes it was because, for example, they did have quite a strong Libran emphasis, and there was a need to be more assertive, you know, to draw on their directness, or almost like their warrior energy, maybe to stand up for themselves a little bit more. Or another example might be somebody who has Mars in their chart placed strongly, but in a way that is hard to access. So just an example, and this is a real example of someone who had a reading. She has Mars strongly placed in the first house of her chart, but it's in Capricorn. So there's a holding back in terms of feeling confident, in terms of expression, and, you know, maybe she's actually training to be a teacher. And so, yes, so there's a sort of a growing into her confidence and her own way of doing things, and not being maybe limited by the system, you know, which would be the Capricorn energy, or not restricted by that.
Nice. Wow. Okay, so budding astrologist, if you don't know anything about color mirrors yet, you know you've got to contact Amanda, because she is just phenomenal when it comes to explaining the color and the astrology. I love it. I also think that people who love color mirrors and don't know anything about astrology, Amanda, this is such useful information for them to get a deeper understanding of why their clients or themselves are perhaps actually picking this bottle when it's on the shelf, and they pick it up, and then you say to them, oh, you picked the Mars bottle, and to give them deeper information around the Mars bottle. I think it's vital, almost vital, yeah, to know a bit more about astrology. Yeah, you woke that up within me. I mean, I couldn't just go, this is a red and orange bottle, it's called Mars. I want to know what Mars was about as well. And thankfully I've been on workshops with you, and you taught me, so I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, I liked the way Melissa put it sometimes. She said that, you know, when you're having difficulty and there is a specific bottle that relates to the transits or the current situations, that you actually bathe in that bottle. You know, that you don't go, oh God, here goes Saturn again, or here goes Mars again, or here's Mercury retrograde again. You know, it's like bathe in the Mercury bottle, and, you know, and help yourself ease through any technical issues you have, for example, if it was Mercury. So that part I like about the practical go-to therapy part of the system with the
yes, it's about really engaging with the energy, isn't it? And just allowing yourself to shift through.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look. We're going to talk about another bottle, Amanda, and this time we are going to have a look at an essence. So this is the Pink Dragon. So is this a bottle you're familiar with? Do clients pick it a lot?
I would say less often than the Mars bottle. I don't know how it is in your experience, Moira.
I get it. I get it picked a lot. Yeah, it is one of the ones that goes into people's homes quite often. So here's a couple of keywords. When this dragon reminds you that love is power, because, you know, dragons is quite powerful animals. They're, you know, they represent this huge big body of, they can breathe fire, and they got scales like to protect them. They have the whole symbology of dragons is about power and strength. And of course, the pink dragon comes in and says, no, hang on a minute, don't worry about any of that. This is actually all about love. Love is the power. So that's the one thing I really love about this particular bottle. There's a sentence in the channeled message from Melissa Jolly, who makes these bottles in South Africa. It says, time to play and stop being so serious and adult all the time. Love that. And that people actually have conversations around that phrase, you know, that, oh yeah, I've been so busy working, and I've been so busy worrying, I haven't had time to take time out to play. So that sentence always packs a little punch. It's also nicknamed the Disney dragon because it encourages getting in touch with your inner child. So this is why because I do a lot of inner child work and around the wounded inner child, because I was born on the 29th, which was all about the wounded child. So I tend to attract the things that I'm busy mastering in my own life, and people who have the same patterns and issues. So that's why the pink dragon gets chosen a lot for me, because it talks about wounded inner child. And it's often chosen by someone who's lost touch with their innocence and playfulness. So that is what I have on the pink dragon, and it smells divine. It's got a lovely smell to it.
Yes.
And the fun, you know how synchronicity, Amanda. So just this morning, I'm busy typing this slide, and my aunt Elaine in South Africa, she sends me a WhatsApp message. She says, "Oh God, this is like 40 years ago. Have a look." And this photograph, and I actually put it in the slides today. This photograph popped up. This is me like 40 years ago. There I am in my red t-shirt playing with all the neighborhood little kids. So
Wow.
and that's actually my sister Kim there, my little Aries sister. There she is. Isn't she beautiful? And look at that jolly little fella over there. That's my brother Trevor. Dive bombing, or photo bombing the photograph, right? And all our neighbors' children that were there that day. So it's so funny that I'm talking just about being playful and childlike energy, and boof, there, this photograph just, lands in my WhatsApp account. But that is just, again, I take it as some symbolism that I need to work with this bottle a little bit more. I need to play a little bit more, not be so serious all the time. So maybe go watch a Shrek movie or something, do something childlike and feed my inner child.
It's a beautiful photo.
Oh, it's so colorful. We are surrounded by colors. All right. There's a bottle in Color Mirrors you asked me to feature today, Amanda, the C10. This is the Orange and Rose. This is kind of the closest we have to combining the Mars energy with the pink energy. So I just put a couple of words up here, but I thought you could maybe talk a little bit about this because you specifically asked if we could feature this one.
Yes. So just picking up on the pink dragon. Yes, it has this beautiful playful energy, and it's almost like a return to innocence as well. And it's we're in quite a sort of challenging collective situation, aren't we? And so strong feelings are being brought up, which might include all sorts of emotions, like anger, for example, which would be reflected by the Mars bottle, or frustration. And so the pink dragon is a way for us to be able to just really lighten the energy. It's almost like just let go. We can be strong, we can breathe fire like the dragon, but we can also just keep it light. But it's also, I think, a focus on children. There is concern about children at the moment. So I think it's about paying attention to children, almost like, feeling into how can we help children at this time. And maybe almost like bringing forth our own kind of happy childhood and, sense of community and, very kind of natural existence outside, and being able to bring that back into children's lives. So with this bottle, the C10, so we have the combination of the orange and the rose pink. And so this is the new energy for the sacral chakra. And yes, it's very much about moving through the shock. And if someone is drawn to this bottle, it can indicate, maybe challenges or issues around our relationship with our mothers. And but it's very creative. And this is really where we're at on a collective level at the moment, is rather than getting too drawn into the anger or the shock, we need to kind of shift our focus into what are we co-creating, and doing this, with joy and with love, and really using our creative ability to be able to focus on that, and in some ways gaining a little bit of detachment as well. So that phrase, the suchness of life. And so this is something for us to almost like, I know that it's challenging at times, but to hold that in our focus. I feel this is a really beautiful bottle. I've always loved it.
Yeah, and you know what I said earlier about how I'm finding that the sacral chakras of my clients have shut down. That is possibly the remedy, is to use the C10 bottle and rub it on that part of the body, or bathe in it, and and see if that won't help right now. But I do like how you're pointing it out to children as well, because I do get a lot of parents now who are saying my children are not coping. You know, they're not, you know, we're here in Canada, certainly we're in the second year now, and like the rest of the world, but we're still in a severe lockdown. You know, we haven't been allowed out and about for about 5 weeks now, and we're going to carry on for another 2 weeks where it's going to happen, where you just can't go out, you can't meet people, you can't connect. So, and it's pretty intense. What I want to do is I'm just going to stop the sharing of these slides, Amanda, and just bring you back on screen here, because what is happening, you know, if you could give us an astrological explanation, you know, possibly, I'm not sure, just what is happening right now, you know, kind of, if I had to say what's up in the universe right now, because I just get the sense of we're not finished with this pandemic and the shocks and the things that are going on around it. I just get a sense of there's more coming, and I don't know what the astrology is saying about that. So
I feel that is the case. I mean, we're moving into eclipse season, as it were, and eclipses always bring heightened energy. And so there are 2 eclipses coming up. We've got the total lunar eclipse, which is on the 26th of May, 11:13 GMT. And in some ways, this is an expansive energy in that we have Sun in Gemini opposite Moon in Sagittarius. It connects in to Jupiter, which is a very expansive, buoyant energy. But it is about information, and it's about new connections as well. That's quite strong with this. It's also truth. You know, Moon in Sagittarius is always about truth and beliefs, and maybe, you know, it can represent quite big changes. There's a big emphasis on mutability at this eclipse. So, which brings this kind of changeability, which I feel is quite helpful for movement. I feel it's about being creative in the situation that we find ourselves in, and almost seeing, well, what can I do? And you know, what does my child need? And following through on that. We've just had this very important transition, which is that Jupiter has moved into Pisces. And this is actually really helpful. It moved in on the 13th of May, and it's going to be there for about 11 weeks. And this brings a softening. You know, Jupiter in Pisces is quite mystical, it's quite magical, it's very gentle, there's a lot of compassion with it, it's sweetness. You know, you could look at it as like a return to innocence. And, you know, with the Jupiter bottle, I'm going to hold it up to show you, but I've bathed in half of it, because like you say, it's good to engage with a colour when there's been a big kind of planetary transition. So, and it is expansive. There's a sensitivity though, as well. You know, it does feel like it's a time when we do need to really watch our energy, you know, that we don't overdo it. You know, our focus is Mars today, isn't it? And so maybe there can be a tendency to work too hard, do too much. And the Jupiter energy is about just really nurturing yourself, bringing the energy back to you. It's like an exquisite sensitivity for your energy field as well. So that's helpful, and it's there for quite a while. Next year, it moves into Pisces fully, and I think that it will really ease up. We also have next year a beautiful connection with Jupiter and Neptune. This is very, very mystical. So I think with the eclipses, prepare for, if you like, big energy and changes. And then we have another eclipse on the 10th of June. This is a solar eclipse. And on the 14th of June, we have a square between Saturn and Uranus. And this is a bit of a conflict between the old and the new. So really, we're in a major phase of the breakdown of the old. And this is happening over these years. And it's because of a very long range transit, Pluto moving through Capricorn. And the changes are huge. And so we can't expect it to happen overnight in a way. What else to say? Is there anything you want to ask me about the current astrology?
No, I love that. I love your explanation of Jupiter, because, you know, to me, if you're going to expand and you're going to grow in consciousness, grow in your service work, grow in, you know, just with, you know, within yourself, you do need to feed yourself first. You need to nurture yourself. I love that. And I think that the next 11 weeks then with Pisces, that's important. I do think that's a great theme to tell viewers about. You know, just make sure that you take it easy, that you relax as much as you can, take time out. You know, when I've been speaking to clients, they're exhausted, and friends as well. You know, they're working harder now that they're working from home with back-to-back Zoom meetings, and, you know, they're not actually getting any rest or physical movement in between all the work and assignments and that they have to do. So they are pushing themselves. And then you think, oh, they're working from home, it's easier, and they with their families, but it isn't. You know, they don't have a break in their routines to nurture themselves. So that is something I think we need to just put out there. Say, guys, take a break. You know, put Zoom off. Go walk for 5 minutes. Do something that you can just recharge your batteries and take care of yourself. And then, of course, there's the bathe in the color mirrors bottles. Oh my goodness, yes. That puts you together instantly. Yeah.
And also handing it over. You know, Jupiter in Pisces is almost like invoking its magic, its miracles. So it's almost like I now invoke the seemingly impossible miracle. So if there's a challenging situation, or, you know, you're not quite sure how you're going to be able to deal with something, you know, whether it's financial issues. This is going back to the bottle, actually, which is the root chakra issues. Security is such a huge thing at the moment, with, you know, it's like it's kind of closing in a little bit, and, you know, the challenges connected with finances and money. So with the coral energy, it's about flowing with that and just allowing oneself to be guided, you know, to be led to opportunities that can help us and help us navigate these times. The other thing about the coral is it's very much about meditation as well, you know, guided visualizations, which form such a key part of what we do with color mirrors as well. And, you know, that can be so nourishing and nurturing, can't it?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I love it. So you prepared, we decided to have a little bit of fun, guys. Let me just quickly I just want to check in with our comments here. I adore these colors together, says Lisa, and this bottle. I used to have orange jeans and a pink jumper, and I used to wear it together. That's fantastic, yeah. Lisa. Yeah.
I remember the photo of Lisa as well, wearing, I think it's red and pink, maybe, something like that. And it's a lovely, it's a very vibrant energy. Yeah. And actually, it's bringing to mind, while you're looking more, I'll talk about this. I went into the market the other day, and this really sweet man who I've bought clothes from in the past almost kind of came chasing after me, holding up this red coat. And he sort of said, I think this would really suit you. And it was really good value. It was something like €15, which is a bit like £15. And I tried it on, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's got this lovely shape and this nice belt. And he said, yes, it'll bring light to your face. So it was a bit like this red booster.
That's right. And he's a pushy salesman. He came running with it. That's a very rare thing to do.
Yes. Well, he was a pushy salesman, but then in effect, it was a gift. Kind of. I think he had this coat and kind of thought, I really want to sell this. And, you know, who would it suit, kind of thing? Or who would I like to give a gift to? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we did have something fun planned for today as well, because you do something called, is it Astro cartography? Which is you can look at where people are living and the energy of the area they're living in, the astrology of where they're living in. And I said to you, well, you know, I've been in Canada, what, 6 years now, and just to give an example to people who are interested in doing an astrology reading for you, this is another little element that you add to it. So if you could maybe give some feedback. I asked Amanda to just say, okay, I've been in Canada, I'm about an hour outside of Toronto towards the west near Niagara Falls, and I asked her to do a little astro cartography for me. So Amanda, were you able to look up something there?
Yes, we can just touch on it. So astrocartography is looking at somebody's chart, and then you look at the energies in a different part of the world. And so it can be very interesting if somebody has perhaps, you know, moved country, or even if they have a partner from a different part of the world, you know, that can be interesting, and it can be shown in their astrocartography. So with you, Moira, in your natal chart, you have some Aquarian planets in the 4th house, and the 4th house is to do with your roots, home, family, where you're coming from. And it's almost like what gives you your solid ground, as it were. And because they are Aquarian planets, it brings in this energy of shift, of change, of I'm looking for something different. You know, do I fit here? Maybe sometimes feeling a bit alien. And so,
all the time.
Yes, I know. So, so in a way, it has really suited you that you have moved country. You know, if somebody was to look at your birth chart as a little girl, you might think, yes, she may well move country at some point in her life. And so I just very quickly looked at your chart for the UK and also for where you are in Canada. And it is
sorry, for those people who don't know, I was born in South Africa. I lived and worked in the UK for 15 years, and then I moved to Canada 6 years ago. So I've had this hop of countries. That's why Amanda would look at the UK as well, because those 15 years was a very important part of my life. That's where I met my C10 Colour mirrors. Yeah.
So just to explain, there's a part of the chart which is to do with you out in the world, the energy that you project. It's called the midheaven, and how you're seen, you know, what your particular gifts are in a certain place. And so for the UK, the line that goes near the UK for you is you have a Jupiter midheaven line, and you have Jupiter in Gemini natally. So you're a natural communicator, you connect people together. You know, you're very generous with what you share. You love linking things together, all of that. And so that's Jupiter in Gemini. So it's sort of, in the UK, that energy was highlighted in terms of your direction. There was a sort of bringing of those two energies together. Whereas for Canada, there's another line that goes near the area where you are, and it's actually to do with an asteroid called Ceres, which is about nurturing. And for you have it in Aries, and you have it in the part of the chart to do with work. This is when you were born. And so this brings together this energy of nurturing, caring, in terms of, you know, this is the energy that you project, you give out, you share with the world. And so there's something about you being able to really integrate those two energies in Canada. Now, so you have Ceres in Aries, and so that it's almost as if this is natally when you were born. So naturally, you nurture people by helping them be self-sufficient. And you want them, you know, it's almost like you're giving them a push, you know, you're encouraging them. So that's the energy of the Aries. Also, that you're someone who, you know, you pioneer. You've really done that right from the start, haven't you? That's very much your way of being, is being a pioneer. So that just...
Melissa always laughs at me and says, Moira, you're way ahead of your time. Slow down, girl. You're years ahead. Slow down. Well, actually, she never says slow down. She just reminds me I'm ahead. I hear, okay, don't push too much.
Yes.
When I first came to Canada 6 years ago, I did find the energies difficult. I was very optimistic about coming. I was in love. I was newly married, and you know, Paul was so excited to come home to his family, and I love his family, and it's been a great, you know, that part of it, the home part of it's been really great. Career-wise, it was, I felt like I had this uphill battle, so that I did find difficult. So I don't know if that was me being in my Aquarian kind of Neptune energy versus the Aries energy, you know, because you mix fire and water, you get steam. So yeah.
I feel it would also depend on, you know, the astrology that you're experiencing anyway, you know, the phase that you're moving through. But I feel the energy was very strong for you in the UK. You know, this Jupiter and Gemini being connected to the midheaven is quite powerful, actually. So,
and it's strange that I've not had a feeling that I'd go back. What I love about Canada is the open spaces and the nature and this feeling of, you know, you can stretch your arms and the big sky. It reminds me of South Africa as a child, you know, with growing up there, the big sky and the big spaces. I found the UK very closed. You know, the homes are small, the gardens are small, the towns are small. You know, everything was, you know, felt very cottagey, and it just didn't. And it settled into that. I couldn't. It was something that never felt home to me.
yes.
I did love working there. I loved growing into color mirrors and bringing it out into the world, because that was the platform that I used to help color mirrors, you know, with Melissa, get it out into the world. So yeah. It'd be interesting. I think what I'm going to do is, if I ever consider a move ever again, Amanda, I'm first going to call you and say, check my lines. I'm not moving until I speak to you. I don't want I'll check it in. All right. So for those of you who've really fallen in love with Amanda, and you really just can feel her wonderful energy and want to have an astrology reading with her, we've got some workshops and information I want to share with you. But in the meantime, also, please don't forget to pop in. If you're picking 1, 2, or 3 today, it's card day today, and we're going to give you a reading in a few minutes. So, Amanda, I'm just going to switch over to the slides, and if you can just tell them a little bit about, let me just come back to where we were here. Oh, by the way, let me just first share Karani's event here. Karani asked if I could mention, Karani was on the show, for those of you who've watched, been viewing the show. Karani has a free online meditation coming up. It's on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming, 19th of May. It's at 6 p.m. UK time, BST, she says. I said GMT. I don't know what the difference is. And 1 p.m. EDT, that's the time here with me in Toronto. So all are welcome in the Color Mirrors Facebook groups. If you're a member of the Facebook group, please, you can get the Zoom link from there. But if you're not part of the Color Mirrors group, let me know, and we'll pass that link on, the Zoom link. Anybody's welcome. It's a free meditation for anybody who has not yet had the opportunity to do a meditation with Karani. Please do so. You'll be so glad. She is just, I mean, she's a master at meditations. And then we had Lisa tell us about this Journey to Joy 3-month workshop when she was on the show last week. Amanda, can you, I'm going to just bring all the details up here as well. Can you, for anybody who missed last week's show, can you just explain what this is about, this collaboration between you and Bradbury?
I feel it's going to be a wonderful workshop, and the idea is to help people who are feeling perhaps stressed or stuck or overwhelmed in some way, and that they're needing extra support. And, you know, really this is about the journey that we're all making into, you know, fulfillment and joy and more contentment, more acceptance with our situation. And so it begins on the 23rd of June, and we feel this is a good time astrologically, in fact, because it's just after these two eclipses, and it's also after the summer solstice. So, you know, if the eclipses are a little bit kind of bumpy, and then we have the high energy of the summer solstice, but Jupiter's going retrograde just before that. So it's almost like there may be kind of high hopes which aren't completely fulfilled, as it were, or this is what kind of seems to be happening. So we feel that, and also Mercury goes direct on this day, which is also a feeling of forward movement, of productiveness. It's, you know, how do I deal with this situation? And Lisa and I have been friends for a few years now, and she's a wonderful therapist, and so she works with an array of skills. She's a colour mirrors teacher, and she also works with the emotional freedom technique, or tapping, and then she also does work in the light matrix as well. So we're going to have a combination of different techniques and skills to be able to support people. And, you know, we'll be blending together the colour, the astrology, and Lisa's skills. And there's a different focus as well. There are going to be 2 sessions a month, just for 2 hours. So 2 hours, 2 sessions a month, which we've found to work quite well in terms of timing and being able to support people. And there's going to be a specific focus for each meeting as well. So the first one, the focus is going to be overwhelm. But, you know, it could just be that you feel that, you know, there's more you could do, there's more that you could open up to, that you feel you would benefit from the support. And so astrology is all about, it's really about seeing, you know, the big picture of our life. Whereas, you know, the colour is the therapy. You know, the colour brings in the magic, the ability to change, a certain kind of fluidity. So they're a lovely combination.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic, Amanda. Thanks for sharing that. And honestly, the first time I met Lisa was on a workshop you're currently teaching with Melissa, and she put a post in the group, and it was so beautiful. I said, you got to come on the show, and she just said yes and turned up the next week. She was absolutely brilliant. And when I got to know her, and she was, you know, we chatted about an hour after the show, just carried on chatting, getting to know one another. She is an extraordinary lady, really, and healer, very gifted. So, you know, the power of everything you do with astrology, with her incredible experience and knowledge, is anybody coming on this workshop is going to be so lucky. And while you were speaking, I heard you know, I get voices in my head because, yeah, I'm weird and alien, do, right? So I get this voice going, people are going to watch this show like months later. They're going to catch up with it and see this workshop and go, oh my God, why didn't I find out about this sooner? So really, guys, put it out on social media that this workshop's happening. There are people interested in this. They might not be catching us, you know, enough on Facebook because the algorithms are so slow these days. But please, guys, yeah, this is incredible what you're offering. And you know what's really warming my heart, Amanda, is how the Colour Mirrors family is stepping up into the technology and really beginning to share and put the work out there through the medium, you know, of technology. And that is just awesome. I'm loving how that's working.
I actually really enjoy it. For doing readings, I almost prefer it.
Yeah.
Because you can have a direct kind of face-to-face contact with someone in a way that you couldn't if you saw them in person. Yeah. So
you
and I feel it works very well for teaching too.
I find I am more present when I'm doing online versus when I'm with somebody, or there's distraction with groups. I've enjoyed it as well. Yeah, to my surprise. All right.
Yes.
So anybody who'd like astrology and a color reading from Amanda, Astro Cartography, you specialize with individuals, relationships, family, and children as well. Can you just tell people a little bit what to expect from you if they book a session with you, Amanda? How do you approach it, and what obviously is preparation because it's astrology.
Yes. Well, I would ask why they were looking for a reading at this time, because astrology is in a way quite vast. There's so much detail, and so it's good to be able to know what it is they're looking for at the moment. And so we would book the session, and I would prepare their birth chart. I would need the date and time and place of birth. The time isn't absolutely essential, but it's helpful even if you know roughly what time you're born. And I'm finding more and more actually that when I work with individuals, they become a client, and so I see them on a regular basis because their life is changing and the astrology around them is changing. And, you know, they're making different decisions or different things are coming up. And so people do tend to come back for repeat readings, you know, perhaps after a couple of months or 6 months or a year. I also work with relationships. Astrology can be amazing looking at two people, you know, to see how they connect together, what the challenges are. Really, it's about what does my soul want? You know, what is being asked of me, and how can I live my energy on a higher level as well?
Nice.
So,
well, I can just highly recommend the reading with you because I know that you're absolutely brilliant with it. And this unique thing, how you bring color into it is,
yes.
you know, that other astrologers don't do. And I really, that just sets you apart completely in that field. So we're coming to that time, Amanda, where we want to give people their 1, 2, or 3. Remember, you guys, it's card week. If you haven't yet picked, quickly pick 1, 2, or 3. We're about to reveal 1, 2, or 3 personal message for the week. So those of you who picked number 1, and I think Renara, you picked number 1, if I'm not mistaken. You have got Violet Service Thank You card. Kind of a Saturn-y card, right? So what would the message be this week, Amanda, for people who pick number 1? If they pick number 1, what can they look forward to?
Well, I feel it's a recognition of what this person is doing, you know, in terms of their service, the support that they give to other people. You know, there's a sense of solidity somehow. Maybe, you know, at some level, a seriousness as well, but, you know, a depth of experience. And so maybe it's about really acknowledging the depth of experience that a person has, and, you know, that they're being thanked for their contribution.
Yeah, I love it. So for those of you of number 1, deep, big thank you from the universe and acknowledgement. Even when everybody else doesn't remind to say thank you, the universe is watching and saying thank you. I love that, Amanda. That's beautiful. Thank you. And those of you who picked number 2, we've got the Indigo Intuition Telepathic Internet card. These are all randomly picked, by the way. So let's have a look at this one. What can we say about the third eye color, Amanda, for a message for people who pick
Yes, so if this is a message for the week, we could look at it, in some ways it could be about retreating a little bit. You know, the indigo is about kind of being in your own space, isn't it? But it's also very much about listening, you know, so it could be meditating, tuning in, connecting to our telepathic ability, listening to the guidance in the way that you were just now. And also, you know, the internet is such an incredible resource, isn't it? And, you know, yes, we get frustrated with Facebook, you know, for various reasons. But yes, telepathic internet is also about the magic of the internet and the way that it's an incredible resource. And you know, even in terms of when you go into your Facebook page, what post flashes up first. And so it's about trusting that, and knowing that spirit even comes into the internet as well.
Yeah, and Amy Bell picked this one. So Amy, retreat, time out a little bit, trust the internet to give you information if you need to hear it. Love it, Amanda. Thank you so much. Love it. Okay, those of you who picked number 3, Sherry, I saw you pick this one. No, Shelley picked number 3. Yeah, no, Sherry, yeah, it's Sherry Bros, number 3. You picked 3. My son Michael picked 3 as well. So here we go. We have a little bit of red, that Mars red energy coming in. A red angel, all about physical energy.
Yes, so this is about supporting one's energy. You know, this is a week to boost one's energy. Maybe to move, to do some physical exercise, you know, whether it's walking or yoga or Pilates or whatever it is that we enjoy. And so there's also this energy of manifestation with red, isn't there, as well? It's a bit like bringing in what we need, you know, to help us feel secure. It also has the energy of Christmas, doesn't it? So the smell reminds me of Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, it is a wonderful smelling bottle.
I do love this essence. Yeah. It's also helpful for people who maybe have some kind of pain, you know, like a back issue or something like that, you know.
Shame, my poor boy, he's been building me a patio in the backyard and his back was sore this morning and he picked this card.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Michael, but thank you, Michael. You were so sweet. You are lifting heavy slabs and laying them down, creating a lovely patio for us in the backyard here. Yeah. Okay. So, sweetheart, when you come back from work tonight, you're going to spray some of this red angel on your back. Okay. Then you maybe pour some in a bath and have soak in the tub tonight. Nice deep soak.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's about prosperity as well, isn't it? And it's a bit like the energy you put in comes back as well. So there's almost like a circle of prosperity.
I love that activation of prosperity as well that comes with that card and that message. I love it, Amanda. Thank you so much. Let me just double check if there's any more messages for us here. Lisa says, haha, card 1 is my favorite old and life path number, Saturn. Yeah, of course, she featured Saturn on her show and she picked number 1 too again. Karani says, Amanda, I love listening to you. Thank you for your wisdom. Oh, lovely.
Thank you so much.
Amy says, I hear you. Oh, and hang on. Lisa says, I chose to. So spot on for me at the moment with my work and creating. Oh, she chose the internet.
The telepathic internet.
Okay,
so
no, yeah.
Yes, really developing one's work.
And the online courses, yeah.
And using that as a means of communication and sharing your message as well.
And then Sarah Jane Ahmed, oh, I love this woman. I miss her face so much in the UK. There's so many people in the UK I miss, but I got to tell you, Sarah always warms my heart when I think of you. You picked number 3, darling, and you said perfect for me too, the red card. Oh, nice. Energy girl, get moving. There's in the booklet in Colour Mirrors, there's a message associated with this card that says wobble your bits, just get everything moving. So go for it, Sarah, wobble the bits.
Yes, feeling comfortable in your body as well.
Yeah. Oh, Amanda, thank you so much for coming on and being so generous. I'm hoping that you can come back later in the year and you know, and just that I can consult with you and pass on to the viewers if there's anything weird happening on the planet. We want to have an astrological explanation. But I appreciate you having taken the time to share your wisdom and knowledge with us. You are, as always, so spot on with the astrology. You're just amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Moira, for inviting me and, you know, in a way giving me the push, you know, giving me the Mars push to come on and speak to you. Thank you.
What was that a series that was pushing me with Aries?
Yes, Series, an asteroid.
Siri and Astro. I'm going to, from now on, my darlings, my students, you know, I push you. I'm going to say it's not me. It's my astrology according to Amanda for Canada.
Yes.
Thank you, darling. I love you guys lots. Please carry on sharing the show. Tell friends about it during the week. We'd appreciate that so much. Next week, no show. We have a long weekend here in Canada, and I'm going to take a break to enjoy the beautiful patio that Michael, my husband, and Ruben built for us. So that's my plans next Monday. Enjoy your week, Amanda. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.